So there's been some confusion about how the regular payments problems actually work, and in particular on how to fill in the table for paying off a loan. So I wanted to do a couple of very small examples involving those tables, just so that we can see just what that table means and what it even means to be making regular payments on a loan like this. So this first example is kind of a naive example, right? We don't really know anything about the finance app on our calculator or those big complicated formulas that it implements. We're just thinking, I want to borrow some money, $2,000 in this example, and I'm going to pay 12% interest compounded monthly, and I just want to make a payment of $500 every month until it's paid off. What would that look like? Right. Well, in the first month, right, the interest is the principal times the interest rate times the time, which in the first month, well, that's $2,000 times the interest rate, that's 12% or 0.12, times the time, that's 1 month, which is 1/12 of a year. And yes, I did pick 12% to make the arithmetic a little bit prettier here. But so in the first month, the amount of interest that I have to pay, if I'm paying 12% interest, is $2,000 times 12% times 1/12. In the first month, I have to pay $20 in interest. But I'm going to pay $500 this month. $20 of that goes to paying off the interest, and the rest, the $500 I pay, minus the $20 that went toward interest, goes toward paying off the balance. We call that a principal payment. And so after my first monthly payment, I started out owing $2,000. I added $20 in interest, and then I paid $500. I owe $1,520. Now this has the same effect as if I'd taken my $2,000 minus that $480 principal payment amount. And this is how we're going to do that in general, just because it saves steps. Okay, so the first month I accumulated $20 in interest. I paid $500 total, of which $480 went to paying down my balance, and now I owe $1,520. In the second month, I accumulate interest again, but I'm not paying interest on the whole $2,000. I'm only paying interest on the $1,520. So instead of taking 2,000 times 0.12 times a 12th, I just take 1,520 times 0.12 times a 12th. So in the second month, I only accumulate 1,520 in interest, which means that more of my payment goes toward the principal, right? $500 minus 1,520 for interest, $484.80 goes toward the principal. After that payment, I owe $1,520, that's what I owed before, minus this amount that went toward the principal, Now I owe $1035.20. Right, so every month, part of my $500 goes toward paying down the balance, and part of it goes toward paying the interest. Okay, so I keep going. Third month, instead of paying interest on $15.20, I pay interest on $1035.20. Rounding that to the nearest cent, the interest I pay is $10.35, which means that $489, I'm going to put in the rounded value. $489.65 goes toward paying down my balance. I owe $545.55. I'm almost paid off, right, if I'm paying $500 every month. In the fourth month, I only pay interest on this $545. So I owe, let's see, $5.46 of interest, rounding to the nearest cent. Almost my whole payment goes toward paying off my balance. And now I only owe, what? My old balance minus my principal payment, $51.01. And we have some messiness at the end here, right? I'm going to go for one more month, maybe. And I'm going to pay interest on that $51.01 for a month. That's 51 cents in interest. What am I going to do in my last payment here, though? I don't owe $500 minus 51 cents. I'm just going to pay $51.01 on the principal, at which point I won't owe any money. My last payment is that $51.01 plus the 51 cents in interest. My last payment is just $51.52. And notice that that last payment is weird, right? We don't necessarily want a weird last payment. We paid this off in 5 months. Could we pay a little bit less the first 4 months and just pay the same amount every month for 5 months? Well, yeah, that's what we're doing with that weird financial app calculation. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we do that weird financial app calculation and how that plays into a table like this.